Hey guys, what's up? I'm NineLives, and in today's movement guide I'm going to be teaching you how to do a super glide and how to do them more consistently with just some different tips and stuff that I picked up when experimenting with them. So yeah, let's learn some shit. So obviously you're going to need to know what a super glide is and how to do it first of all. So I'll show you that real quick. A super glide is what I showed in the intro there. Basically it is you climb a wall like this, and as you're coming over the edge, in the final part of your climbing animation, you input jump and crouch at about the same time while holding in a direction such as forward, left or right. Doesn't work going backwards. And it will launch you from about 0 to 550 velocity is the average. So an insane speed boost out of nowhere in one frame. It will launch you in that direction. So I'll try giving an example with the keyboard inputs to show you a super glide, and that way you can slow it down and see the exact timing. But basically I'll climb the wall. Okay, that's the super glide. You climb the wall. As you're getting to the top, input crouch, jump and crouch. So if you need to, just slow the video down to 0.25 on YouTube and just pause it on the frame that I input jump and crouch, and you'll be able to get the timing a bit better off of that. Like I said, you're not going to get this every time, and when you're first starting you might not get it for a while of trying it. I'm hoping this helps, like teaching people the timing of it and that, because that is obviously the hard part about it. So another thing I want to talk about that will help a lot with the consistency of your super glides is which keys you use to input the super glide. So if you can see on my keyboard inputs here, I have crouch bound to the side of my mouse, which is what I use when I'm just like sliding around doing general stuff. Just general crouching and sliding. I always use the binding on the side of my mouse. And this is what I used to use for super gliding as well, but it makes it a lot harder to hit the super glide because the jump and crouch need to be input around this either the same frame or frames very close to each other. And inputting crouch with my right hand and jump with my left hand just made the timing harder, obviously, rather than inputting it with the same hand. So what I actually did, I tried to do a double binding, basically where I bound C, which is a key that I never really used, which by default is bound to crouch. So I tried binding C to jump and crouch in my files, which I did, and to my surprise, I thought this would make super gliding really easy, but to my surprise it actually didn't work at all. For some reason with the double binding on C, I could not hit a single super glide for about 10 to 15 minutes. So double binding jump and crouch to a key does not work. Which tells me that inputting jump and crouch at the exact same frame does not work with super gliding. I think there needs to be like at least one frame between them. I don't know why, even though it feels like you're pushing them at the same time, it just doesn't make sense that it wouldn't work with the double binding. So what I tried was, rather than using my mouse binding for crouch and jump, I took off the double binding and I tried using my left index finger to push C, while simultaneously using my thumb to push spacebar. This allowed me to get a better timing because I was doing it with the same hand instead of with opposite hands. And that seemed a lot more consistent for me, and I felt like I was hitting super glides a lot more often. Like a lot more often than I was before. And then over time doing that, I realized I could just push C and space with my thumb at the same time. So I just used my left thumb to move it over. Normally you'd have your thumb about the center of your spacebar. Just move it over so it's on the C key as well, and just push it down, and it'll feel like you're pushing it the exact same time, and that will work for getting much more consistent super glides. I can promise you that. Might take a bit to get comfortable doing that because it does feel a little weird at first, but it's definitely worked for me and helped me get a lot more consistent at doing them. This movement technique is very hard to get consistently and basically impossible to get every time. It requires very, very specific timing, and obviously just because of human error, you're not going to be able to get that perfect every time. So don't feel bad if you can't hit it every time. No one can hit it every time. I definitely can't hit it every time. But this should help you be more consistent, hit it a lot more often, and just feel more confident trying to do it in the middle of a fight in game or something like that. If you do get the hang of this movement technique and can hit it more often, you can tap strafe out of it. I've shown it in my previous videos, in my montage and stuff. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this. You can 180 tap strafe out of it. You can do it sideways, then tap strafe going forward. and it's very off-putting for your opponent. If you're able to pull this off in the middle of a fight, it makes for a very flashy kill. Anyway guys, I hope this video did help you learn a bit more about super gliding and hopefully get more consistent with it. If it did help you, I'd appreciate it a lot if you leave a like. It helps me out with the algorithm, lets more people see my content. I'm trying to grow my channel recently, trying a lot harder to grow my channel, so that's much appreciated. Also leave a comment if you want to see any other movement guides on how to do any other movement techniques. I know how to do pretty much every single movement technique in the game, at least well, and I have a good understanding of the mechanics and everything of Apex Legends, so if you do need help with anything, I enjoy making these types of videos, so just let me know in the comments. And anyway guys, hope you get better at super gliding. Thanks for watching.